Hey Pete, what's going on?
Well, hey Nick. Well, you know, it's a beautiful June day. Got the Cellars series cooking up here. What I'm really excited about is grilling up some deals. So everybody, it's June, and we have a killer Cellars series description for you. Every month I get excited about the new selections going in, but every month I start to fall in love with certain wines that get a little expensive. And I kind of wrestle with the idea, should we do it, should we not? And this month, I kind of went after some of those wines, but had some incredible deals kind of, supporting them. And I'm super happy to kind of pass those along. So we have, for kind of barbecue season, cabin season starting, kids are out of school, you probably need an extra glass of wine there for that. But we have an awesomely balanced kind of lineup right here. So I'm just gonna jump right in. So let's start off with the Battenfeld-Spanier. So Battenfeld-Spanier is a producer along the Rhine River in Germany, and it is a bone-dry Sylvaner. They call this a Gruner Sylvaner, and what that kind of means to me, like Sylvaner in general comes from Alsace. It comes from another region in Germany called Franken. But they are these kind of just chiseled mineral whites that are kind of right on the western slope of the Rhine River. So it's all stainless steel. It's all biodynamically farmed, and it's just a fantastic, top-tier producer. They've been making wine since 1991 at this estate, and it's a husband-wife team that bring kind of a lot to the table. The wife brings kind of her holdings with Coulin Guillot, a separate estate, and then the husband has Battenfeld-Spanier, which is kind of a great up-and-coming producer in the Rheinhessen, though they've been at it for 30 years now. So yes, I would say if you like kind of Chablis, if you like kind of these crisp and focused, racy whites, this is kind of right up your alley. So Battenfeld-Spanier, drink more dry German wines. Moving on to Puy-Puissé. Chateau Puissé is a producer that we've worked with on and off throughout the years. They're kind of old guard. They like old guard. They've been making wines since 1604, essentially, at this estate. And the Vincent family's been working and kind of caring for the estate for the last 5 generations. So let's back up. So Puy-Puissé is like kind of that like island of limestone in the Macon, or Maconnaise wines. So south of Meursault, south of Montrachet, by maybe close to an hour by car, 45 minutes by car. But what you get out of these vineyard sets, is a much riper, kind of powerful expression of Chardonnay, while still having kind of the acidity that is so important for balancing out Chardonnay, and freshness as well. It's grown on limestone, limestone and clays mixed together, just like the more famous vineyard sets north of here. But this is their Tête de Cuvée. So this is a blend of several different parcels, usually about 30-year-old vines. It is 60% in oak and 40% in stainless steel. So again, kind of just this balancing act of freshness along with richness at the same time. So really, really classic white Burgundy. Like it quite a bit. Tête de Cuvée just indicates like their top offering before you dive into their world of really, really expensive like single vineyard wines. So normally like a $60 bottle on the shelf, but it's kind of coming to you in that $32 price point. So a real sweetheart deal. Going from Burgundy all the way to one of my favorite winemakers anywhere in the world, Uli Stein. Stein is farming in kind of these forgotten terraces of the Mosel, like the middle Mosel. They are awesomely steep vineyards, some of the steepest that you're going to find anywhere in the world. And this crazy guy has decided to, alongside of his Riesling, which is kind of mythic in my opinion, like I adore the wines, I collect the wines, I kind of treasure them. But he plants like Pinot Noir, Cabernet, and Merlot along these terraces and makes the most delicious rosé that you can imagine. So 2022, totally dry again. And only 5 cases came to the state for this year. And we got all of them. Like I saw it in an offer and I just jumped on it right away. I couldn't be more thrilled to say like that Stein rosé is Thomas liquor. Just like went up and like licked it. Like, no, nobody else is gonna get this. Excited about the wine to say the least. So yes, Uli Stein. Drink more of his wines. Going back to Burgundy, we kind of got like a 1-2 kind of punch here with Burgundy. We're going to the estate of Olivier Leflevre. And Leflevre makes incredible wines. Most of the wines are wildly expensive, like crazy expensive, especially his white burgundies. But they make really lovely red burgundy as well. And kind of speaking of old estates, like this is about kind of as old as you can get. They're a 18th generation family firm in Pouligny-Montrachet. But the Leflaive family kind of split in the 80s, with Olivier kind of stepping aside from his sister and brother to make kind of his own wines under his own label. Instead of Domaine Leflaive, he's Olivier Leflaive. So this is his Cuvée Margaux. And so the Cuvée Margaux is a blend of wines from the Haute Côte du Beaune, so kind of the forested areas above kind of the Premier Cru and Grand Cru slope, along with vineyards in Pouligny-Montrachet and Pernan-Vergelès, the really lovely, charming village of Pernan-Vergelès. So 16 months aging, 11 months in barrel, with only a small percentage of it being new. So just classic red bird, you know. So really lovely this time of year. You can chill these down. They go great with kind of lighter fare. Like I like Burgundy and Pinot Noir with barbecue. I like that like lighter style for refreshingness, kind of throughout the summer season. So going from kind of like the hallowed ground of Pouligny-Montrachet to a region that we've never really focused on before, which is Puglia. And Puglia is like, well, it's the heel of the boot. Not many people make it there. You know, everybody goes to Italy, I feel like, but you don't hear too much about people going to Puglia, which is a shame, because it seems like, well, I haven't been there either, I have to be honest with you. It seems like an amazing place to visit. You know, kind of these wind-swept kind of hills right along the southern Adriatic coast, very inspired by kind of Greek and kind of Eastern European kind of flavor. But how this wine is different from almost all the Pulian reds that we taste is that it's light and fresh, has lift, it has kind of this energy to it, and there's kind of a reason we haven't featured too many Pulian reds, because they can be a little heavy, they can lack a little bit of life, and that's not this wine at all. So coming from northern Puglia, where they farm primarily vineyards that face north-northeast instead of south-southwest, in the southern part of Puglia, like it just has lots of freshness. So it's a family that's been making wine since the 1950s in this area, and they farm grapes that are like Bambino Bianco, and then this red grape called Nero di Troia. So they make about 3,000 cases of this wine, so not a whole lot in the grand scheme of things. All stainless steel fermentation, and then a year in concrete for freshness. Like they don't bother with oak barrels at all, simply because like they're going for, like I said, freshness. It's hot. It's like hot as hell in Puglia. And so if they're going to serve this alongside their grilled fish, it makes sense for it to be bright and fresh. So exactly what we got going on here. So finishing up in the most important village in Rioja, which is Haro. At least to my opinion, that's where López de Heredia is, La Rioja Alta, and Cune. Cune is a very well-established kind of fine wine company, fine wine producer in La Rioja Alta. I'm sorry, in Rioja Alta. So Tempranillo based. This is their Reserva. It's 2016 vintage, which when I was researching this wine and tasting the wines, there is again kind of freshness and lift to this. And 2016 was a cooler vintage, so higher natural acidity, but for all intents and purposes, like as Europe really starts to heat up, it is really nice to have some cool vintages thrown into the mix than to have everything kind of just these higher alcohols, these really big concentrations. That's almost kind of hard to stomach in when it's 85 degrees out and you're grilling. It's nice to have a little bit of freshness as the focus of the event. So, and a really historic producer, Cune. So that is your Cellars series description. Some really kind of lovely wines throughout this whole range, and again, like just an insane set of value, like throughout this whole kind of collection here. Finish up with that last one. That's normally about a $32 bottle, but you guys are getting it for 17, 18 bucks. It's a great deal. So you can pick it up this weekend, bring it up to the cabin, bring it over to your friend's barbecue. Whatever you do, get some sun like I am and enjoy your wine outside. Cheers.